10 a.m., exactly 10 a.m. on August 1st. Almost all the way done with this year, Jesus Christ. Anyway, this is a visual novel that it used to be a thing that was being updated, and I don't remember when exactly, but I remember watching a couple of videos on it and being really intrigued by it. And recently, the creator has come back and remade it entirely. So now it's entirely redone, and there's like this whole new story from what I remember it being. Last time it was like something similar to Echo, and now it's like a detective story or some bullshit, so let's fucking jump into this already. I should mention that there was a content warning at the beginning that was like some of this content may be harmful or traumatizing to certain viewers, so there's your warning. The bus hums quietly as it rounds a turn. At least I think it was a turn. About 20 minutes ago, a dense fog had rolled in. You and Silent Hill, bitch, obscuring my view of about anything, really. Not that there was much to look at, anyways. Even an outsider like me could tell this town was out in the boonies. Yeah, this is entirely new. This is like entirely new. This is nothing like how it started last time. By the way, this is only gonna be like maybe, I don't know how long, but it's only one update, so it's gonna be short. About 5 hours into this trip, the road became particularly rough, and I couldn't focus on anything other than the seat shaking around me. My ass hurts. But it would have hurt a hell of a lot more if Mama knew where I was going. I was lying to the tips of my teeth when I told her I was going to spend the weekend looking for a new job. In reality, I'm hooking up with a sketchy dude I met in 4chan. Oh no. Oh. Oh no, is that what's happening? Oh no. I'm not gonna say anything, because. I don't think she'd forgive me if I got myself murdered. But it was time I stopped dreaming and took the leap. I raised a finger to my head to adjust my earbuds. I bought these ones recently, wireless. They were a convenience of the modern age for sure, as long as you disregard them getting lodged in the ear canal. Guess the tech wasn't quite there yet. Speaking of, where are you now? I quickly tagged out a response. Just pull into Harborton. Think we're heading to the main terminal now. Reply is almost instant. Apostrophe P. I lean back into the seat, nose pointed skyward, and let out a long sigh. Got butterflies in my tummy, and it's likely not just from the sudden change in altitude. I jolt back when I hear the loud ding at the intercom overhead. Now arriving, Harborton Central Terminal. Without even thinking, I brought my free hand into my chest and grabbed her ring, hung gently around my neck. I mumble a quiet prayer before I shove my phone back in my pocket and stand up. Great, am I playing a fucking religious asshole? Okay. Too quickly as the blood rushes into my legs all at once and I'm overcome with painful pins and needles. Fuck! Blurt out the word I was not taught to say in situations like this, trying the attention of an elder woman seated a bit further ahead. Karen, probably. Hey, watch that mouth. There are children here. I raise my hands and shake my head, making eye contact with the terrifying husk of a woman. Sorry, please, I apologize. Don't apologize. I could play it innocent when I needed to. I wasn't much of a potty mouth, but I wasn't sane either. I could see her eyes squint at me from inside those sunken sockets. She quietly judges me after deeming me unworthy. She purses her lips and returns to, actually, I have no idea. Perhaps this entity was put in place to monitor public transit for all eternity. I was fortunate enough to survive this encounter, but any further assault meant on family values would have dire consequences. Oh, how horrible! An assault on family values, so fucking terrible! I breathed another sigh, this time much quieter than the last. I'd kept my suitcase and my purse since I nearly lost it on the first bus transfer. It's nowhere near as heavy as I only packed the bare essentials. A couple outfits, my laptop, my phone charger. Maybe I should have brought a jacket. I wheeled myself up to the front of the bus, passing the dried-up creature vaguely resembling a woman. Her hollow eyes stare right through me, her mind no doubt conjuring some story about a... I'm not saying that word. Assaulted her on the bus to post to Facebook. Maybe just calling me a dumbass instead of something outright malicious. I'll bet you Gladys and Barbara would get a kick out of that. I chuckled quietly as I stepped out of the interior. I had barely had time enough to... I chuckled quietly as I stepped out of the interior. I had barely enough time to grow accustomed to. As soon as I do, I'm assaulted with the chilly ocean breeze. Oh. It's a twink. Definitely should have brought a jacket. Oh well. Shallow guy wasn't kidding though. There's some sort of saltiness in the air that's hard to describe. I'm a long way from home, huh? Gone were the endless fields of corn, and in their stead salt. Great start, eh? Wonder how good the food is. My daydreams of food are interrupted by another sharp ping on my phone. I pull out my pocket and open it up. Gah! Stumbled backward, landed hard on my ass, and twisted my tail in what I described as less than comfortable. Standing over me, victorious, was the man I'd come to see in the first place. Damn, that never gets old. You think people would stop wiping out when I spook in there? I blinked my eyes repeatedly, making sure this was actually the guy that sent me his picture. He was quite a bit shorter than I was expecting. Juan, right? He grinned, his polished teeth reflecting the sunlight. Certainly wouldn't just sexually harass a random guy. He states for a second, weighing his words. I have no idea how to do an accent for this for a Juan. Or maybe I would if the random guy was as good looking as you. Toothy smile returns as he reaches out a hand to help me up. Well, that's one hell of a first impression. Second impression? Fuck, I don't know when we meet up to work. He slits his eyes at me, massive grin never leaving his face. I have a feeling you know what you're signing up for. Tell me to the side of it, just really chuckle and take his hand. Yes, you're proof that not every anon on X and next. Oh. I mean, he literally did say 4chan. Why am I surprised? Pulls me up with a surprising amount of strength, especially for his size. Honestly, though, 4chan is a cesspit. Do I look like I grow a beard if I really wanted to? Nah. Lets it go of me with my feet up square on the ground again. A lot of things, but a bear ain't one of them. I have a bit of horrible memories with bears and visual novels. Brian. Cat looks up at me and down before resuming. You. Juan, you've seen your fair share of bears, eh? I shake my head. Nope, it's just JC, thanks. Slits his eyes and licks his chops. You can call me daddy if that's what you're into. The entire station goes literally sound as the cat's bold flirting reaches the climax of show. Unable to hold it in, I clutch my belly as it shoots a deep laugh into my throat and out of my mouth. That's a weird way to say that. The feline's eyes widened, clearly not the reaction he was expecting. Where's the expressions? I mean, seriously, he's laughing. There should be expressions for that. What am I saying? It's a fucking first update. Damn. Folds his arms. Jimmy's laughter slows, wiping a tear from my eye. No. My laughter slows down enough that I can elaborate through my bursts of chuckling. It's been ages since I heard that one. I had a friend that would pull that same kind of stuff. Guy was a dingo about your height, always made me laugh. Smiles at me. Well, if you like that, there's plenty more to come. Oh, good grief, what the fuck? Dude. Just, what is this? Why are you... Is this like just a dating thing, or are you gonna fuck? Is that it, or what is this? Stiflish grin spurts further across his face. I like a challenge. A few chuckles escape my belly, and I do my best to fix my hair with my hand. Fill my arms. Now my head, smile remain on my face throughout. There's no smile there. What are you talking about? I think you and I'll get along just fine. Don't take me for stupid, though. You're a unique one, that's for sure. Hopefully the sort of unique that hasn't the information I'm looking for. Information you're what? He did say it was like investigative journalist or whatever. So tell me, how'd you end up an X? I shook my shoulders. I saw some guys on a true crime forum I followed, talking about like real crimes out in 4chan. So of course, what do I do but go and check it for myself? So I saw the option. I created an account and jumped into the first board I could think of. Requests. Post as one does. Where can I find information about cold cases I couldn't find on Google? And it probably would have been for the best if I hadn't. I shake my head. Using the same username for every site was a mistake. Some fucker at my RuneScape account. Oh my god, RuneScape. Cat side-eyes me. Damn. Smiles. You were a massive dork when you were a kid too, huh? Oh boy, there we go with that stuff. I grinned back and then rested my arms on the top of the car seat. Yes, I always have been. But give me a break, yeah? I had to be a beacon of positivity when things got rough. Chuckle. Your little brother had to learn from somebody, you know. Didn't stop for being an annoying little shit, though. Cat stares back at me. Annoying sibling, Pulls the car into park, rolling the sunroof back as he does. Plan on killing him? Is that weird in criminology? Chuckle, though I feel it comes off as less than genuine than I like it to. Hasn't everyone dreamed of killing their large sibling? Wow, okay, that's a fucked up thing to think. The cat doesn't respond, just turning away from me. There's a painfully dead silence that ripped things after my joke falls flat. Well, it wasn't a very good joke in the first place, now was it, JC? Unable to stomach the awkwardness for long, I changed the topic to something a bit more interested in. So tell me, Oliver Blanche, you said he was a friend of yours. Cat nods his head as he taps his car door closed with his butt. Yeah, we went to high school together, like I said in Discord. Oh my god, we're going there, aren't we? That was a grade under me, and the only time we ever really acted was when I was a sophomore. So in my head, really? 10th grade? He was only one grade behind you. What happened? Did you have fallen out? Shrugged his shoulder, walking over to my side of the car. I was never in with his friend group. Don't get me wrong, kid was cute as hell. Back when I'd bag just about anybody, so of course I made an effort when I saw how close he was with the dude. I raised an eyebrow, folding my arms. But there were issues. Issues like... He pressed a discreet little button on his car key, causing the trunk of his car to open. Well, his friend group was really small. I heaved my suitcase out of the trunk. Once it's firmly on the ground and sling my campus messenger bag over my shoulder. He was weird. Didn't talk to people, missed school. That's not a weird person. That's basically signs of depression or anxiety. That's not that weird. I'm pretty sure V and Don were the only people that bothered talking to him, even though it was quiet. My free hand on my index finger to gently tap my skull. I shook my thick with an obnoxiously bright smile. I can give you some more deets when we get settled in, eh? Sustained said more not in my head. Kenu? What? Turn my gaze upward toward the neon sign contrasting the blue sky just beyond it. Fuck. Dan swore. The guy lifts his own suitcase out the trunk before shutting it. Whatever I say, last time I was in Harborton. It's one of the nicer hotels by the beach. Motels, whatever. He smiles, goes in his tight. Direct access to the harbor. That's what you wanted, right? My eyes open over wire as the words pass his lips. Yes, I really want to see it. Let's go ASAP. He interrupts my excitement, wiggling a defiant finger in front of my face. Don't you think we better make sure we have a bed to share? Tilt my head. You mean 2 beds? The cat smiles as a response while turning away from me and walking up the motel's reception desk. I follow in turn. An older man, like in his 50s, resting in a chair behind a thick-looking pane of clear plastic. He likely didn't see us approach since he hadn't yet lifted his nose out of the book he was reading, a real page-turner by the intensity with which he scanned the pages. Ah, me. Literally me reading like all the time. In the past, you know. That's the weird thing. I used to read literally all the time out in public, and then I just stopped because I was tired of people annoying me by asking what book I was reading. That's literally the worst thing for me. And one of those times, I literally got up and walked away from this fucker. He kept following me around, and like, finally I just slammed the book shut, and I'm like, leave me the fuck alone, prick. And he just stared at me with the most offended look on his face as I wasn't making obviously clear I didn't want him to talk to me by literally going across the room. Yeah, enough about me. Back to the fucking visual novel. Sam giggles to himself, likely seeing opportunity to cause some mischief. He turns his head back to me, a soft glint reflecting the early evening. That's a typo. Early evening sun and illuminating his face. And before I can reflect on the next potential action, he slams his fist in the glass once, followed by a flurry of smaller taps. Oh, so you're a fucking prick, got it. I'm like, Jesus, dudes. Turns around to face me, winking coy before raising his hands to defend himself. No, oh my god. You are one of these dudes. One of these dudes, huh? Yeah, of course. I blink. The cat seems to be satisfied with his prank, but I turn to see the victim and he's unholstered a handgun pointed at me. Oh shit. Instinctively I throw up my hands. Don't shoot! Look, As soon as he cries, a sudden pair has placed me, and the cat scrambles to his feet, drawing the terrified eyes of the man behind the desk. Shit! It was just a prank, swear, don't shoot. Man squints at us for a brief moment for the sign, lowering his gun. Seriously. Seriously, dude. You're in the fucking boonies, you really think they're not gonna have guns? Are you an idiot? Are you an actual idiot? Dear Lord, does anyone sane ever visit this town? Shakes his head and returns his gun to the holster under the waist. Smart man, actually. That's me, honestly. I keep my mouth shut, unsure of what to say as my adrenaline dies down. You damn kidding and nonsense. Shakes his head again, floppy ears swaying as he does. Y'all got business, if not, get. Raises his hand and I flinch, but my relief just points at the no loitering sign just outside the office. You can read, can't you? Couldn't answer him if I tries. Any words I tried to make caught in my throat. Luckily, Sam seems completely unshaken and chimes in for me. Yep, we rent a room for the weekend. That'd be under Samuel. Wow, okay. That's the last name. He leaned in a bit close to the manager's counter. In an hour or so, he'll. No. Don't do this. Don't go down this route. Creator of this visual novel, no. I roll my eyes at his awful joke time and decide my best interest to shrug it off. Manager, much less enthused, sits back down at his desk and scrolls through a list of names in his computer. Sorry, sir. Hey, I can go some Irish on the ex-boss. Whatever that was. I botched that line like hell. I turn my nose up at the cat's request. And risk running the guy you pissed off? No way in hell. Spent the last 15 minutes trying to calm myself down after that incident, and failing somewhat spectacularly. Oh, come on, I've seen people react way worse than that. He plumps his skinny ass right down next to me on the bed. You didn't even fire. Think about it. If it were my quick thinking, you're not like not be sitting here right now. Yeah, except he wouldn't have been in that situation if you didn't put him in it because you were wanting to prank someone with. I don't like this dude very much right now. He rests what was likely his favorite hand to sexually assault someone on my knee. Immediately I'm into alert mode. Don't tell me you pissed your pants and need to change. Dude, fucking hell, you just met each other. Why are you doing this? I squished my eyes shut before resting my fingers into my temples and releasing a painfully long sigh. My bladder was mercifully empty at the time. Never thought I'd say this, but bless the bus restroom. I can't respond by simply shrugging his shoulders. Well, care and half hurt to have a little check. Trust me, I'm a certified bladder inspector. What is your issue, dude? I get you're a fucking pervert, but Jesus. Sam begins to make a familiar trip in my road before I interrupt my own. Really? What's the scientific term for someone who specializes in urine? Don't make a water sports joke, please. The cat's eyes go blank as the cog in his head begins to turn. Shit. Penis doctor? I shake my head. Nice try, but no. Gonna have to retract your license. Pull his hand off of me, much to his disappointment. Though I do recall you being an expert in one particular field. He tilts his head. How to give someone, oh my god. I smile. Maybe a person much more interested in information that may lead to closing the case of Oliver Blanche. For a split second, I see the cat's lips drop into a frown before they curve into a smile. Well, I did say we talk when I get here, eh? Fair enough. Crosses his arms. Ask your questions, I'll answer what I can. That was not his voice. I watch as I pull a small notebook out of my bag and flip it open. Let's see here. He lifts a genuine chuckle as I click my pen. You take this stuff seriously, huh? I smile back and I'm turning his favorite tactic against him. I take my detective work as seriously as you take your jokes, mister. He tilts his head, shrugging his shoulders and smiling back at me. My jokes. I respond with a quick nod for asking the most basic question of any interview. So, what's your name and age? His grin stretches further across his face. My name is Mike Hawk. Born June 1960. I smile back at him, though my half-lidded eyes contribute much more to my expression. And your real information? He shrugs. Well, you already know these things. Told you on Discord. Well, sure, but it's customary to start any interview with that. The famous slip and called interrogation. He raises a brow at my request but complies. Alright, name's Samuel Long, born February 16, 1996. So he's like in his 20s or... Yeah, 20s. I smile before my initial expression, that if it matches up with what he's already told me. Thank you. Next, what was your relationship with Oliver Blanche? He's starting to think, even going as far as to rub his chin as the memories return to him. We were friends. His first real answer, as far as I could tell, was only half-truth. I call his bluff. Really? Were you close? Shakes his head. Not terribly. I lock eyes with him. Oh? Was he more of an acquaintance? Cat shrugs. Kind of. He smiles at me. I was taught me never to know everybody, especially people who catch my eyes. He winks at me. Ah, I see. I shrug off his obvious flirt, nodding my head and keep marking that note down. So, when was the last time you had any contact with him? The cat raises his chin to look at the ceiling and returns his eyes to mine after a few seconds. June 2014. That was last month I spent rolling around this town. Furious, screaming my pants, the only sound that carries across the motel room, as I'm sure to catch every word. That was the year you graduated high school, yes? We only scraped through and crammed at the end of the year. After that, I moved back to Cal for a few months to stay with my mom. I see. What'd you do after that? I flew back to Virginia, enrolled in VSU with the spring semester, and lived around the area ever since. Oh, VSU, what are you majoring in? Their question doesn't help the investigation, but easy to answer questions are helpful to keep them talking. Good question. He smirks. But if you want an honest answer, I want to ask the same of you. What goals are you pursuing right now? I tap my pen against a notebook, just doing my best to avoid spending too long dwelling on the question. Momentum is important during interrogation, and every attempt he makes at increasing his own needs to be snuffed out. Well, I want to go into criminology, specifically investigation. Smile. I really like giving interviews, if you couldn't tell. He slits his eyes at me, that the stony smile never leaves his mouth as he does. I could have guessed as much. His eyes close completely, and the smile expands, making his pearly white teeth visible. Though you certainly have a long way to go in that department, I think. I tell my head before leaning close to him. I don't disagree. That's why I get some practicing after all. I just smile back at him in the blink of an eye. He reaches forward and grabs my wrist. Like this when you're, for example. When you're nervous, you start feeling with that necklace you wear. I blink. Am I? I wrap my hands, he listens to the grip on me. Surely enough, her ring was between my fingers. Ah. I cough and compose myself. It's good advice, thank you. He slits his eyes at me again, this time flashing me a smart but more genuine smile. Of course, I tagged along to help you, didn't I? Oh. Pushes his finger to his lips, thinking. I can go for some food. I blink at him again. Is it a reasonable time to eat? Shrugs. I haven't had anything to eat since. Well, I go for something. It's what, 7:30? Reasonable time if you ask me. He smiles and is starting to point at the door behind him. Get some food, go see the beach. How's that sound? Back to the last time I'd eaten. It was a granola bar getting the bus around 6 a.m. My stomach erupts in a flurry of ravenous growls at the mere thought. Okay, deal. You're weird. I shrug my shoulders, shoving another handful of fries in my mouth. You choose like bread. What? Cat cocks an eyebrow. What? I chew about 7 times over, swallowing the goopy mess of potatoes, grease, and ketchup. My little brother says the same stuff. Squints at me. Of course he does, any sane person would. You eat like 3,000 calories worth of food. I sometimes rapidly listen to just the conversation and stare at the female's mostly untouched tray of food. Speaking of, you gonna eat that? I want his chicken sandwich, but see no more than 2 possible bites. He doesn't even break eye contact with me or shoves his tray across the table. My escort had spent nearly the entire dinner scrolling through his phone, occasionally touring a french fry between his fingers. Garland smiled at him before taking a bite out of his former dinner. Smiles back, a look of interest sparkling in his blue eyes. Well, at least you're weird in a cute way. Shrugging my shoulders, swallowing thoroughly chewed food. It's the same for you. I've never met anyone so interested in clickbait articles about the top 10 spirits you can't believe are truly caught on camera. Number 7 will shock you. He slits his eyes at me, but his red lips remain curled in a smile. Number 7 didn't shock you? I chug before my turd cuts me off. More importantly, it made you find me cute. I shrug my shoulders, smiling at my face. Did I say that? Or did you hear a ghost say it? He folds his eyes, and this is my turn to cut him off. So I'm going through what you told me about him earlier, but I still haven't put the pieces together yet. Tell me a bit more about Oliver. He tilts his head to the side, clearly analyzing my words. You mean to tell me what I said earlier wasn't enough? His voice is dripping with sarcasm, but I refrain from interacting with it for the time being. Come on, I'm sure there's more you can tell me. What, like how big a dick he was? I blink. I don't. If I had to guess, 6 inches. Some of the hard-on ones, but that stupid he always wore was in the way. Wait, I can work with that. He always wore a hoodie? Special to him? Cat leans back and oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh, Ollie. Right, he was the shit, I just remembered. He was the main character in the original version of it. Oh my god. Holy shit. That's interesting. Cat leans back in his seat, closing his eyes and getting comfortable. He did, yeah. After he and Don started. Oh my god, This is interesting. Don, you mentioned that name in the car. They were dating? Cat shrugged as my response. Barely. They did for maybe a week or 2 before Don pieced out. I fold my arms. Pieced out how? He left town, dropped to high school, never came back according to all the rumors. But Ollie kept wearing the hoodie after Don moved away. Yeah, graduated a grade ahead of him, but for those 2 years I never saw him without it. He was odd. Something about him was always off, and I'm not talking about the way he smelled. I'm just talking about the way he smelled. So he was like, caught up by the cat shrugging his arms and frowning, eyes wide open. Nobody knew, and all the time I knew him I'd never seen him meet or even go to the bathroom for that matter. People joked that he was an alien all the time. Space rat, that's what most people called him. Cat took a sip of the drink. Maybe he was an alien. He disappeared because he went back to his home planet. I frown. Some people picked on him? Is he regularly bullied? Cat shakes his head. No, not for lack of trying, though. Oh? Sam went back in his seat again, locking his hands behind his head. First of all, it was impossible to get a reaction out of him. That's what Willis really wanted. But the bigger reason he was under V's watch. If someone swallows in my chest and make a connection. V, you mentioned her earlier too. He nods. Bingo. V was one of his only friends. Don, where did he fit into this? He shakes his cup upon hearing the ice remain and sets it back on the table. That's another story in itself. He rolls his head on his shoulders until it releases a satisfying crack. Ready to blow this joint? I go for a walk. I stretch my eyebrows together, frowning. Are you sure I have more questions? That's my cook, getting excited, and he's clearly caught onto it. His grin widens as he flicks his tail at me from across the table. Keep your pants on. We've got all the time in the world, eh? He licks his chops, the look of voracious hunger reappearing in his eyes. Or you could just... Why are you so... I smile back at him, cooling my detective's heart. You want me to embarrass myself in public? I'll pass, thanks. Holy shit. Gentle waves lap at the shore as a soft evening breeze blows across the empty harbor. It carries with it the light scent of the ocean and the taste of salt. I've never been to the ocean before. Saying just a few steps behind me, chuckles. It's not the ocean, dumbass. This is Chesapeake Bay. I shake my head. Well, that's enough, I think. I walk a bit further from the closing distance of myself in the massive body of water. My feet sink a bit further into the sand with every step, and despite the season, there's plenty of warmth. My toes find it. There's a peculiar warmth my toes feel very pleasant. It stands in stark contrast to the chill lingering on the breeze. I can almost feel long, cold fingers tapping on my back. Faced with the enormous body of water directly ahead of me, I stare out in awe. The allure of the ocean captivates my every cell, and the desire to throw myself into it and discover its mysteries overpowered my body. How are you? Nah, bitch. Nah, I hate the ocean. I hate it so much. So, the spot. It was special to him. I almost caught behind me. From what I could tell, yeah. I'd see him out here pretty regularly. He walks close to me, pulled my attention from the water. I rested his hand on my shoulder. Over there in the dock, he'd sit there and stare out across the harbor. His free arm. The cat points to a decrepit-looking dock, eroded after what was likely many years of disuse. Gently lifting the cat's arm off of me before lifting my feet out of their sand tomb and making my way over to the dock. Within a few short paces, I can hear the cat's quiet footsteps beyond my own. My eyes remain fixed on the creaking wood beneath my feet as I step up onto the raised wood. At Sam's suggestion, we'd left our shoes in his collar, since getting the sand out of them would be a nightmare. But seeing the splintered wood beneath my feet now causes an urgent sense of regret on my body. Still, hungry for answers, I pressed on. It wasn't a long walk to reach the end of that dock. And why are there so many, present tenses? It's switching tenses every... Any boat that would moor here couldn't have been large. Why build a harbor here in the first place? Questions like these are raced through my mind as I stood at the embrace of the sea, my thoughts occasionally broken up by the sound of a particularly large wave crashing against the dock and making it sway. So, what are you thinking? I gently shake my head. Everything is off about this place. I hear him prop himself up against a particularly creaky stake, barely holding the dock together. Oh, what makes you say that? I breathe out a quiet sigh. Call it a detective's intuition. I watch quietly as the sky darkens, fading from vibrant oranges to soft pinks, followed shortly by a deep blue. The moon rests silently above the horizon, shining a pale glow across the waves. There's a sense of serenity lingering in the air. But like everything else here, it's lined with the inexplicable flavor of dread. Lost in thought, my eyes fixating the great celestial body looking down on me. Like a god looks upon his worshipper. I close my eyes, exhaling slowly. My brain is fogged and able to think straight. The case. I need to focus on the case. There are questions I need to answer. Who were you, Oliver? What happened to you? Where can I find you? Opening my eyes again, I'm greeted by only by a darkness that shrouds everything around me. An inky blackness that goes on for what seems like eternity. I can feel the terror in my body speaking, pumping adrenaline to me at a rate I'd only felt once once before. I'm calm. I stand in place, arms out to defend myself from nothing. A neutral frown adorning my face. I want to scream. None of this is real. It can't be real. Is this how it felt for you too? As soon as the thought crosses my mind, my eyes shoot down on my feet. They're engulfed by a riot mountain of shadows, spindly dark fingers clawing around them. The fuck is happening? The fuck is happening? Fingers become hands, hands become arms, arms become flesh, and flesh What is happening? I scan my waist with ease, shortly can see my entire torso. Crawling darkness. These effects for this, wow. I haven't seen a visual my first watch as my body vanishes into nothing, swallowed by the hungry void beyond my understanding. Everything goes. Oh, that's cool. That is, I could do no more than accept my fate, so why won't you let me go? What? Oliver? Oliver Blanche, you here? What? Oh shit. That is, oh, oh, that is the main character of the previous iteration of this. Oh, you, bitch, why? Oh, you, that is awful. I told you guys that this was gonna be short, but I didn't think it was gonna be that short. And now it's actually not a silhouette anymore. What was that? What was that last part? What?